Over the last several months, I've been getting a lot of comments and questions about why do I stick with Evernote. Well, the main reason is I've been with Evernote since September 2009. That's almost 15 years now. And over those years, it has been solid, dependable, and reliable. It's done what a notes app should do. And it just feels like it's just a solid back-end friend. It's always there. It's remained loyal and it's remained reliable. And like all friendships, we have our ups and downs. In 2019, there was quite a big transition going on with Evernote, which meant that it did become a little bit flaky. And I admit and I confess that there were moments when I thought, maybe Evernote's not the right app for me. But I'm glad that I stuck with it because Evernote is brilliant again today. It works a dream and it's just solid. So why do I use Evernote? Well, first, let us step back in time. Let us go back before the digital explosion and look at how we used to maintain our notes. Now, we used to have lots of little notebooks like this, and I've got a selection of my notebooks that I use today right here. And we would take these to all our meetings, any lectures that we attended, we would always take these with us and we would take notes. The thing is, we never complained. That's how we took notes. The problem I think we have today is that we have way too much choice and way too many ways to organize notes. But I've stuck true to the way that I've always organized my notes, and pretty much it's random. I mean, in this notebook here, I have just taken loads and loads of notes, and it is random. Though I do keep a little index at the front just to make sure that I know where everything is. And so I was lucky because I grew up in an age before the digital explosion. I learnt about note-taking and notes organization the old-fashioned way, and I've maintained that in my Todoist today. Now, it's true I do have a specific structure. I call GAPRA, which is goals, areas, projects, resources, and archive. And there's specific ways of dealing with that. And if you're interested, I have covered that in a video recently, which I will put in the show notes below. But that's the starting point for me, is notes is just notes. It's not the end point. I use things like Pages, Apple's Pages, to deliver formatted documents. When I'm writing books, I'm using Scrivener. When I'm writing my blog posts, I use Ulysses. I have specific professional tools for doing the output work. Notes is just notes. It's just there to give me the support. It's there for reference materials. It's there for collecting quotes and things like that. Although I also use Evernote as a CRM system. One of my main jobs is coaching. I coach people in time management and productivity. Now, I usually have, for example, on Thursday, 7 or 8 hours worth of calls. That's 7 or 8 different clients that I'm speaking to. So what I do is I keep all my client notes and details inside Evernote because we're using Zoom. We're talking through Zoom. So I've got the note on the screen, I've got the Zoom call up, and I am typing my notes directly into Evernote. Now, I could use a pad of paper and write it down, but these things always are going to become digital in the end, so I like to keep everything in Evernote. It's also a record of what we've spoken about because quite often I have clients who've been with me 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and we have monthly calls, and we generally just go through helping them to become better organized and more productive. But it's all there, everything is there, and one of the most powerful features of Evernote, which should never be overlooked, is its search functionality. It is brilliant. Now, with this CRM system, I can take advantage of Todoist's recent addition called Tasks. Now, I do use Todoist as my main task manager. The only thing I use Evernote Tasks for is to tell me that I have feedback to write for a client, and that's in my Evernote right here. You can see it in my home screen. I can't miss it because this is open on my desktop all the time. Now, let's talk about Evernote's web clipper. I've known for years and years and years, every new big idea notes app that comes on the scene, they start saying we've got to have a note clipper, a web clipper. So this is basically in Evernote where you have a little extension either in Chrome or Safari. I'm not sure about Edge, but I'm sure it's there. And essentially, if you come across a web page that you like and you want to keep, you can just click that button and it will save it into Evernote. Now, Evernote's web clipper is phenomenal. It's always been phenomenal. It's brilliant. I would say it's fast, but sometimes it can be a little slow, but it works brilliantly. I remember Notion back in 2018 or 19, trying desperately to get the web clipper to work, and it never worked well. I'm not sure if they still have it. It's probably given up on it now. But Evernote's web clipper is just it's just brilliant. It works every time. It goes straight into my inbox. No complaints there. And what I really like about the web clipper is it allows me to send the simplified version of the document, which means now I just have the text, which is what I really want from the website that I'm looking. So I can highlight that, copy it, paste it, whatever I want to do with it. It's all editable. And I love that about Evernote. And then we have Evernote's no-nonsense app linking. Now this essentially, I just click on a button here. It asks me if I want to save or copy the app link. I can then paste that into my Todoist, so I have instant access to my projects from a click in Evernote, and it will open up in Evernote straight away. No risk of distractions. Now I know a lot of these notes apps have these. Some of them are fiddly, some of them are straightforward. But I just love that. I'm used to it. It's almost like I've got the muscle memory for it. After 15 years of using one app, you do kind of develop a little bit of a muscle memory, and it just means that I can move around Evernote super fast. And with the app linking, it means I can link that and connect that to any document that I want. Plus, if you're in the Google Drive space, you can actually connect your Google Drive to Evernote, so you can actually just have the document there linked into it, and then click and bang, you're open up in Chrome and you're working on a Google Doc. Super fast. And the most important thing, no risk of being distracted by all the other stuff that pops up on screens. Now, there are still some downsides to Evernote. I think the mobile app is horrendous. The text is so small. Now, it may be just because I wear glasses and I prefer to see bigger text. I can see it much faster, but the text is too small and there is no way to enlarge it on a phone or an iPad properly. You can zoom in on the screen, but then you don't see the whole line. I just wish they would give us the option to make the text size bigger, but perhaps that will come in the future. Fortunately for me, my main use of Evernote is on the desktop, so it doesn't really matter. And also, if I do need to quickly grab a note, I've been using an application called Drafts, which is a small app which allows me to send bits of text directly to Evernote. So I never really have any issues with it. It's just a little bit disappointing with the fantastic look of the desktop these days. The mobile app just could do with their text just making a little bit bigger, please, Evernote. But that's really all my only criticism of Evernote. And finally, let's talk about what Bending Spoons are doing now that they've acquired Evernote. Okay, so let's get real here. You don't go and spend $60 or $80 million buying an application only to close it down later. That's the kind of thing that Microsoft might do with Wunderlist. But really, what you do when you buy an app like that is you have an intention to do something with it. Now, I've been following what Bending Spoons have been doing with Evernote over the last year or so, and I can honestly say they have a real roadmap of improvement for Evernote. It's quite exciting again to be in the Evernote world because things are changing very quickly. Now, there are a few little of the features like the calendar integration and things like that that have no interest for me because I have a very clear use for my calendar. The tasks that are in Evernote are good for me and my client relationship system. But apart from that, I would never dream of using Evernote's tasks to do my main task because it would just mean, well, it would become a complete mess. Evernote is a notes app. There's kind of the clues in the title, Evernote. It's not Evertask or Evercalendar, it's Evernotes. And that's all I use Evernote for. And it's brilliant for that. And that's really what I wanted to say. So for all of those people who've been asking about why am I still using Evernote, there was one question that I can honestly answer, which is If all things being equal, if we were starting again from scratch right now, would I choose Apple Notes or Evernote? I probably would use Apple Notes because that's come a long way in the last few years. But back in 2009, Apple Notes was not good. It was okay, but it wasn't good. Evernote was the king, it was brilliant, and it is still brilliant if you just gave it a chance. And I should point out, this video is not sponsored by Bending Spoons or Evernote. It is just my own personal opinion. I love Evernote. It's been with me for such a long time, and I have no intentions of moving to another notes app that may give me more features that I won't use. Thanks very much for watching this video. If you want to learn more about the GAPRA system, then the next video I suggest you watch is this one right up here.